Yo, what's up? Welcome back. Welcome to new. My name is Mark, and today we are going to be talking about what I'm covering for 2026 of summer anime. So, the way this is going to go, I'm going to split this up into two parts: the YouTube side of things, and then what I'm going to covering for Patreon exclusives. And in between each time, each like anime that I'm going to be talking about a little bit, telling about why I'm choosing this one, stuff like that. We're going to be here for a while. My guess, we're probably going to be here 20-30 minutes, give or take. So strap in. If you're new here, strap in. If you've been here before, you know what to do. Grab your snacks, grab your drinks, and let's talk about everything for summer 2026. So first off, we got 16 shows for the summer anime season. The first show we got is Demons of the Shadow Realm. I'm already covering that. So it's going to be a continuing of like what it is, because it's 2 cores. So I'm happy to continue this. So technically we got 15 new shows that I'm going to be checking out. The next one is Saga of Tanya the Evil Season 2. Now recently I actually got caught up on Season 1, because I watched Season 1 back probably when it first aired. Got through most of it, but then I stopped. Then I recently came back and I was like, oh, I like this show, so I'm going to check it out and finish it. Turns out, Season 2 is coming soon. And so I'm like, hey, why not? I'll check it out. And so that's the plan. We are going to be covering Season 2. I am still going to have to catch up on the OVA and the movie. So, I have time, though. I have a lot that I'm planning, bro. And unfortunately, no synopsis, so I can't go based off anything like that. But I'm excited for Saga of Tanya the Evil Season 2. The next show I'm going to be covering is Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You. Now, I am aware that technically this has already aired, like in 6 mini episodes, I believe, aired. It's our 6 or 12 mini episodes, not the full episodes. I didn't cover those because I want to watch the whole thing, the full episodes. And so that's why I didn't cover it yet. But I am going to be covering the full thing, because like it's weird. We don't get a lot of adult cast romances, and so I'm just excited that we're getting something that's like adults doing the thing. Then the last time I saw an adult romance anime was Isekai Office Worker. Genuinely, they were both adults. It was an isekai, of course, but they were both adults, and so like we don't have a lot of modern adult romance anime. And so I also saw the trailer back a while ago, or teasers or whatever there was for it. It caught my interest, and so I was like, sure, why not? So that's the one thing I'm gonna be checking out. I have like 1 or 2 romances I plan to check out. It's a little up in the air because I don't do a lot of romances. But anyways, the next one we're going to be checking out is the Exile... Wrong button. I'm not used to doing this stuff on my phone. Still, the Exiled Heavy Knight knows how to game the system. Now... Oh, this is 2 cores back to back. Great. Jesus Christ, bro. Well, we've been getting quite a few 2-core shows recently. And I'm excited for this. It sounds good. The Heavy Knight is a defense specialized class that draws enemy attacks to protect allies. But even among defensive classes, its abilities lack versatility, and its offensive power is too low to level up properly. For this reason, it was branded not merely a disadvantaged class, but an outright defective one. Yeah, I'm not going to reread that. But basically, it's like a past life thing as well, which is cool. And like it sounded interesting when I saw the synopsis originally, and so I was like, why not? I don't know if it's gonna be a slop anime that's not like gonna do super well, but it is something that's I'm gonna check out and see how it does. Fuck. I keep hitting the wrong button. Anyways, so far we got Demons of the Shadow Realm, Saga of Tanya Evil Season 2, Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You, and the Heavy Knight. The Exiled Heavy Knight knows how to game the system. Now, I will say, all the shows that I'm talking about right now for the YouTube side of things, if they don't perform well, I will probably bring them over to Patreon. And so, a lot of my reaction, realistically, I might not make a video for every single episode of every show that I'm covering for YouTube. I'll try, but it's not gonna be the priority. The priority will be the shows that perform well as the shows that I'm enjoying the most. But of course, I am gonna try to cover every week, every day, an episode of all the shows that I am reacting to. But anyways, the next up is Tomb Raider King. I pressed the wrong button again. I gotta start doing that way. Tomb Raider King. Now this is something that is very, very interesting to me, because if I remember correctly, it's a manhwa. Now, for those of you who do not know, manhwa are, this is a crash course. Manhwa are Korean colored vertical scrolling comics. And a lot of them could be considered slop by a lot of people. Think like Solo Leveling as well. That's a manhwa. Pretty sure it's also a light novel, but that doesn't matter. What matters is that I enjoy manhwa quite a bit. I read them on the regular, and so I have not read this one. This actually has been on my list to read for quite a while, and so the fact that it's actually getting a anime adaptation, I am very excited for. I have a feeling it's gonna do well. So let's read the synopsis so that you know if you're not familiar with it. Mysterious tombs appeared all over the world one day, each containing a relic which grants its owner supernatural abilities. I've gotten decent at Korean names, but there's a real chance I'm gonna fuck this up. Juhan Suh is a tomb explorer, excavator, and raider. Betrayed by his employer, I almost said emperor, his employer, he is about to die at the hands of a powerful new relic when he suddenly finds himself 15 years in the past before any relics or tombs made their debut. Driven by feelings of revenge, how will Juhan use his knowledge of the future to become the Tomb Raider King? It sounds interesting to me. It's only 11 episodes, which kind of sucks, because I wish a lot of anime did 24 episodes nowadays, still. Especially some of the seasonal. I think they'd be good as 24 episodes, but of course, like for like an anime season, it makes sense, I guess. But the point is, I am very interested to check this out. I hope it does well. If it doesn't, I'm gonna be very sad. But I hope it does well, because I'm really excited for this, man. I really like manhwas, bro. Okay, so that's the next one we're gonna be talking about. We're gonna be covering. The next one after that will be I Want to Love You Till Your Dying Day. This one was surprising to me. In the only okay, also, one of the ways I know about a lot of these shows that we're talking about is through two ways. First one is through a Discord server that I'm in, where where there's a channel all about trailers and like previews and like announcements and stuff like that. So that's one of the ways I keep track of like what's coming out and if I'm going to talk about it or not. The next way is through Twitter, or X as some people like to call it. And this is actually how I learned about this one, because I follow quite a few anime like alerts accounts, updates, leaks as well occasionally. I follow some accounts like that. And I heard about this. This sounded fascinating to me. We're going to talk about what the synopsis says. Death lurks behind a mysterious orphanage where children train to become magical weapons of war. Among them is Sheena, who longs to stop the fighting and end the conflict. On one gruesome night, Sheena meets a strange girl covered in blood, with a smile on her face. Of course. The mysterious girl turns out to be a secret weapon, an immortal child soldier named Mimi. When the two become roommates, there is a growing tension and attraction. How will the peace-loving Sheena live with someone who welcomes death? So, when I first read this, I was like, what the fuck? Genuinely, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, it sounds insane, and yet it also sounds very fascinating. So, I was like, okay, I'm probably going to check this out. I'm at least going to give it an episode to see how it does. And if it doesn't do well on YouTube, I'm probably going to bring it over to Patreon if I enjoy it. Because that's what I do with most of the reactions that don't end up on YouTube, or that start on YouTube but end up on Patreon. They didn't do well here, and so I bring them over to Patreon because I'm like, why not? I'll continue them. But I mean, fair enough, man. It's It's a fantasy girls love school tagged show. Like, I genuinely I have no idea how this is gonna go. That's the funny thing. I try to go into shows completely blind, obviously, because it's more fun that way. But I also sometimes try to make predictions as to how something might go. I have no idea how this will go. Like I have questions after reading the synopsis. For one, how the fuck do you make an immortal child soldier? That implies that this world has other ways to, like, I don't know, man. It's that implies that there's one, there's probably two, then there's probably three. like an immortal soldier obviously sounds good in practice. Good maybe not. It sounds effective in practice. But a child soldier, like, I've never understood the point of child soldiers. I've never understood the point of them, simply because they don't have the physicality of an adult, or the mental fortitude, or intelligence of an adult. So why would people want child soldiers? That's what I don't get. Okay, I'm going on a tangent. Okay, so I Want to Love You Till Your Dying Day. That's a show we're going to be covering. I'm very interested to see how this turns out. And when I say covering, I do mean I'm going to be like reviewing them like I've been doing. Cause unfortunately, if you're new here, hi. I used to do reactions, like full-on reactions over on YouTube and Patreon, but now I just do them over on Patreon, cause my computer went to shit, and so now I'm slowly saving up for a laptop, because laptops I find are more reliable than a desktop. But for now, I don't have that, so I've been doing everything on my phone, reactions and reviews, and that's what we're going to be doing for the summer season, probably most of it. At some point, we might get into the territory of back to doing reactions, but for now, I'm going to be almost exclusively doing reviews like this. And like I'll probably do like random reactions every so often of just like anime quizzes and stuff. Like I don't need to worry about copyright with those usually. Anyways, up next, after I Want to Love You Till Your Dying Day, we're going to be talking about and covering on the channel Sparks of Tomorrow. This is the Kyoto Animation anime that was, I think this is their first anime back after everything that happened with KyoAni. And immediately, because it's KyoAni, I was already interested, because I don't think they missed really. But at the same time, I was also interested once I especially read the synopsis. Let's read this together. In an alternate version of the earliest 20th century, where technological progress evolved along a different path shaped by steam power, Kyoto is blanketed. Some words I have a harder time saying. I used to go to a speech therapist when I was like a very young child. I probably shouldn't have stopped or been pulled out. Kyoto is blanketed in constant smoke. A boy hardened by the loss of his brother grows distrustful after their shared dream of an age of electricity is cut short. A deeply devout girl hides her dreams and regrets for her deceased mother deep within her heart. When the two cross paths, they set about exploring the secrets of a 20th century electrical catalog, a glimpse into the future they long for. Together, they must confront their past and carve a path toward the future they once believed in. That sounded interesting to me. Do I think it'll perform super well? I hope so, but I'm not. There are some shows, I will also say that there are some shows that I go into this knowing they probably won't do well, for me at least. But I like to think that the shows that involve like thinking and like analyzing stuff, they'll do well for me, because I take notes. If you're new here, I actually take a lot of notes for almost every show I cover. For most of them, the ones that like have you thinking and stuff like that, like certain like battle shonen, I probably don't take notes for all of them. But like some of them I do. But I take a lot of notes so I can like have like good long discussions that can go on for 20 to 30 to 40 minutes long. And so I hope this does well, because this is definitely going to be a show that I'm probably going to be taking notes for. But as I said, I am excited to check this out. I hope it does well, and it goes well as well. Up next, this is an interesting one for me. This is called Black Torch. Now, the manga it's based off of, I'm aware of this from, I've been following this little situation on Twitter for a while. But the manga was actually canceled after like 20 or 25 chapters, I think, give or take, or less. And I thought, okay, interesting. So a canceled manga is getting anime, which implies if they go beyond however many chapters were canceled, then we could get into anime-only territory, or the original creators involved. I don't know. But it looked cool. The cover art looked cool. I look at cover art as well, and I'm like, oh, hey, that actually kind of looks cool. But the actual synopsis goes, although he may appear rough and tumble, Jiro Azuma's compassionate side emerges when it comes to the furry critters he can communicate with. But Jiro's soft spot for animals gets him in major trouble when a suspicious stray cat fuses with him, granting him exceptional power, but also dragging him into humanity's hidden battle against powerful Japanese spirits, Mononoke. And I don't remember reading this synopsis, so that's surprising to me. I mean, hey, I love cats, man. I love animals in general. So, like, me and him, we get along. We'd get along very well, I think. But this is interesting to me, because, like, I'm covering something else. Not covering something else. I cover something else similar to this. Kind of similar. It's not completely. Let's be honest here. But like this, it's a similar idea in a show called Dead Account. I covered it back winter. I think it was a winter anime. I think, yeah. I covered it back in winter, and it was also about exorcism and stuff like that. I love stuff involving like exorcists and stuff like that. I think it's really cool. And so I'm very interested to see how this goes. I don't know if I don't know much about the studio. 100 Studio. What have they done? They have done Quality Assurance in Our World, The Vermilion Mask. That's another one I'm going to be covering. A Few Moments of Cheers. Poke 2. The Vermilion Mask Core 2. The Vermilion Mask is one that's coming in October that I'm interested in. Okay, so they don't have a lot per se. But, like, I have a feeling it's going to go well. I hope it does. Especially because, like, the people involved so far from what I've seen on Twitter, they're hyping it up. So, it's probably going to go well. So, yeah, Black Torch. That's one that I'm going to be covering as well. Up next, the next one I'm going to be covering for YouTube, might I add. The Elusive Samurai Season 2. This is, I already know it's not going to do well for me. Probably. Because it's going to be like, everyone's going to be checking it out and all that. But I love Season 1. It looks visually stunning, and then the story itself also is very, very good as well. I like when shows have like in-depth stories and stuff like that. Like, there's a reason I enjoyed another show called Nippon Sangoku. Like, it has such a phenomenal story. Speaking of, if you want to see my reactions to Nippon Sangoku, you can check them out on Patreon. Unfortunately, I don't have any reactions to The Elusive Samurai because I think it came out a year or two before I started reactions, which was June or July of 2025. I'm pretty sure this Season 1 came out before then, so I don't have any reactions to that, but I did enjoy it a lot, and I'm very excited to check it out. No synopsis, of course, because it's Season 2, but I'm definitely going to be checking this out. This is also going to be one of those shows that I'm definitely going to be like, oh, if it doesn't do well, oh well, I'm still going to cover it on YouTube because I enjoy it that much. Next up, we've got Though I Am an Inept Villainess. So, off rip, I don't know much about villainous anime. I know enough from through reading manhwas involving like villains being reincarnated like that or stuff like that. I don't know much about villainous anime in general, honestly. And so I'm like, I don't know how this is going to go, honestly, but I'm curious to check it out. It looks interesting. And as maidens from the 5 clans battle for the Crown Prince's heart, jealous Keigetsu uses forbidden magic to swap bodies with the beloved Reirin. Switching places does not guarantee happiness for Kagetsu with her new body's ill health, leaving her hanging on the verge of death. Meanwhile, Raiden, now wearing the face of a scorned outcast, must answer for Kagetsu's crimes in a dangerous trial. Oh, there's more. The unlikely pair become increasingly entangled in each other's lives, and they will need to work together to survive after discovering the dark conspiracies brewing beneath the palace's genial surface. To confront the deadly threats lurking in the shadows, Raiden must embrace her new identity and defy their expectations of the court's inept villainous. It sounded interesting to me. I'm not going into this with the highest of expectations. For most shows, I don't go in with the highest of expectations unless it's a sequel to like a show that I enjoyed before. But I'm interested to check this out. So I hope it goes well. I don't know how villainous anime perform on YouTube, honestly. So this will be an interesting experiment as well. Anyways, next up we got the Frontier Lord begins with 0 subjects. I was going back and forth on if I should cover this or not. Mainly because on the one hand it did look interesting, but on the other hand it didn't look interesting enough compared to other shows that I was considering. But I'll be honest, the reason I chose this at the end of like everything else is because it had a high enough popularity that at least I might get something out of it in terms of like engagement on YouTube. Because like it interests me enough. That's the thing. Like, not saying it didn't interest me. But I do like to do shows occasionally that can hopefully do well at least a little bit. Because I am putting a lot of time. I put most reactions that I do, I spend 30, 40 to maybe an hour per reaction for over on Patreon. So like I like getting something out of it, honestly. But I am interested in checking this out. Diaz finally returns home after decades of war. He's hailed a hero and promptly rewarded with his own domain, which turns out to be a little more than empty plains. Population 0. Diaz, who has only ever known battle, finds himself at a loss. How is he supposed to survive, let alone cultivate his territory into a thriving, prosperous dominion when there's nothing but grass as far as he can see? Fortunately for Diaz, a horned girl by the name of Alna is about to show him there's more to the plains than meets the eye. Like, it sounded interesting enough. And so I was like, okay, why not? If it has popularity as well on AniList, maybe it'll have popularity over on YouTube. Who knows? I'm going to check it out. This is probably one of the shows that if it doesn't do well, I might drop it instead of just bringing it over to Patreon, but who knows? Anyways, that's that. Next up, we've got The Ogre's Bride. So this is the other romance anime that I was talking about. Because I said I was covering Smoking Behind the Supermarket with you. And there was one more, I think. And it was this one, The Ogre's Bride. Now, off rip, I'm not a huge romance person. Especially straight romance. That's what it is. I primarily, most of the romance I have covered and completed as reactions and like reviews were BLs. Go for it, Nakamura-kun, The Summer Hikaru Died, Isekai Office Worker, A Gentle Noble's Vacation Recommendation, although that's technically not a BL. I don't usually cover the like straight romance, as it were. It just usually never interests me or resonates with me, but this did. And the reason is because, honestly, initially, there's another... I'm exposing myself here, but there's a yaoi with a similar name to this. And so, it's called The Titan's Bride. And so I originally thought that's what this was, and I was like, oh, hell yeah. But no, it's not. It's something different. But once I actually read the synopsis, I was like, okay, I might check it out. By the way, if you like yaoi, I recommend I'm 99% sure it's called The Titan's Bride. I haven't read it in a while, but it's actually really good. Anyways, moving on. So this is called The Ogre's Bride. The Ayakashi and humans coexist in harmony. The Ayakashi, having superior abilities and beautiful appearances, sometimes find their partner among human women, making them their bride. The bride, in exchange for bringing prosperity, receives absolute love from the Ayakashi. Yuzu is constantly compared to her sister, a bride of a demon fox, and is resented by her family every day. One day, when Yuzu just couldn't take things anymore, damn, that's dark, a man appeared before her on the bridge. This man is the most beautiful man Yuzu has ever seen, and he's calling her his wife. The most powerful, cold-hearted quote-unquote, Ayakashi is pouring his heart out for Yuzu. I also chose it because I like the design of the ogre, the guy. I'm a simple dude at times when it comes to some characters. But also, genuinely, jokes aside, this does interest me a lot. Because it's not your stereotypical romance. That's the thing. I'm not a fan of stereotypical romances usually. Like normie romances, normal. So quote unquote, like Smoky Man in the Supermarket. That sounds relatively like a normal romance. Normal enough. And so I was like, when I originally thought about this one, once I read it, but then once I fully read it, I was like, okay, yeah, this sounds cool. It's not basic bitch romance. There's more to it. Especially because it sounds like there might be drama too, which I like drama. What are the tags actually? Colored pencil animation is a studio, fantasy, romance. I don't want to show all tags because it might spoil or something, but fantasy and romance. I don't see comedy at least. So there's that. Comedies are such a hit or miss for me. Like I like to go for a Nakamura-kun, the comedy. I liked You and I Are Polar Opposites a little bit. Like the comedy in it was pretty good. It didn't appeal to me at some point, so I just stopped watching that one. But this one does sound interesting to me, so I'm very interested to check it out. The Ogre's Bride. Gonna be interesting. Again, if you want a good yaoi, check out The Titan's Bride. I am definitely exposing myself a little bit by talking about that one. But the point is, we're here. Anyways, we got a couple more to talk about. Next one up is Victoria of Many Faces. This one sounded interesting to me. I initially found this. I didn't find this through Twitter or Discord. I actually found this on AniList. Because occasionally, not often, I will go on AniList and just look around to see what's coming up. I don't usually do that because there's too many, so I don't usually go through there. But I happened to see this one, and I saw a different visual that interested me more. And because it was them standing with like the planes behind them, like grass and all that. It looked a lot better than this kind of basic cover shot. Anyways, in an age when spies act behind the scenes in every land, Chloe spends her days successfully carrying out even the most difficult missions due to her unparalleled disguise skills and martial arts ability. Sounding a lot like Lloyd Forger. However, after the betrayal of her boss, definitely not Lloyd Forger from Spy Family, she suddenly disappears. As Chloe plans to redo her life as the ordinary citizen Victoria in the neighboring kingdom of Ashbury, striving for a normal life. However, Victoria's peaceful life is abruptly cut short as she gets involved with many people. In this new land, her experiences and abilities from her day as a spy come in far more useful than she ever expected. On the other hand, the second prince and the pursuer of the organization, amongst others, take an interest in Victoria's strength, and many shadows close in on the one with all the cards in her hand. This sounds interesting to me, and it's also not a comedy. I think that's, honestly, I like Spy Family, but the comedy didn't hit for me, really. So I'm glad that this seems kind of like Spy Family, not completely, obviously, but like, I'm glad that this doesn't seem like it has a lot of comedy. It'll probably have a little bit, obviously, that's fine. It's just, if it's not a full comedy, I'm happy. And so I'm very interested to see, check this out. It looked interesting to me when I read the synopsis, so I was like, okay, why not? Up next, we got this one. My stepmother and stepsisters aren't wicked. I initially was going to skip this immediately, but I was like, okay, maybe I'll check it out after I read the synopsis. And so, Mia is the illegitimate child of a certain prominent family. When her mother dies, she is convinced she knows what awaits her in her new home. A life of servitude and misery at the hands of her wicked stepmother and stepsisters. Yet, when she finally meets the women she expects to treat her like dirt, they actually end up being sweet. And honestly, that's not too much to go on but it's also enough to go on, if that makes sense. Like I'd be cool with more information, like in the synopsis, but at the same time, it tells me enough to help me make a decision. And that decision was, okay, why not? I'll check it out. I don't expect this one to do well on YouTube either. I'm covering a few shows that I don't expect to do well on YouTube, but I'm going to check them out anyways and then bring them over to Patreon if they don't do well. Now, this is a historical comedy, and Studio Nuon. Oh, they're brand new from the looks of it. At least according to LiveChart, which was the app that I'm using to go through all this. But, interesting. Yeah, I don't know how this is going to go, but I'm curious to check it out. Because it'll subvert the expectation of like the evil stepmother and stepsisters and all that. So there's that. Next up, we've got 2 more shows for YouTube. The World is Dancing. Now this one, gonna be so honest here, when I saw this, I initially thought this was the Elusive Samurai Season 2. When I saw this cover image, I was like, the Elusive Samurai? No, it's not. Once I saw the title, The World is Dancing. I don't know anything about it. But now I did after I read the synopsis. In 1374, amid the turmoil of the northern and southern courts' long-running conflict, a boy named Oniyasha is born to a family of Sarugaku theater performers. He spends his day in a kind of quiet gloom, haunted by a simple but persistent question: why do people dance? That is a valid question. Then one day, he witnesses a dance that he feels to be good, quote unquote, and everything begins to change. This is the story of a young boy who would one day shape the art of null and be remembered as Zayami? The fuck kind of word is that? Zayami. Ugh. That's alright. Sci-Pic, I know the name. Drama, historical, performing arts. There's also a seinen. Ooh, interesting. Good to know. Okay, Studio Sci-Pic. I know the name. Why do I know the name? The Summer Car Died. Okay, you already know it's gonna be great when if it's the studio behind the Summer Car Died. So yeah, this I initially again, as I said, I thought it was the Elusive Samurai. It looked like the Elusive Samurai a little bit. But then I was like, okay, it's not. Let's read the synopsis. So I read the synopsis, then I read it again here. And I don't know. I genuinely don't know how this is going to go. I'm going to check it out because it looked interesting enough. But I am not holding my breath on this being something that I enjoy long term. It'll really just depend on if it can hook me in the first like 1 or 2 episodes. Because I try to give shows at least 2 episodes. Sometimes I only give them 1. But I try to give shows at least 2 episodes, so here's hoping this works out well. And finally, for YouTube reviews, not reactions right now, recommendation from Mr. Iwamoto. So this one was flying under the radar for me until I think a month or 2 ago, maybe a little longer. I actually don't remember, but like, it flew under the radar for me. The only reason I even knew about it is from a Crunchyroll news article that I happened to get a notification for. It was buried among other Crunchyroll news articles, notifications. So I happened to see it, and I was like, okay, let's check it out. I like the design of the characters so far. Let's see what the synopsis is. And so I read it, and the synopsis is 1910s, Iwamoto Kodo, who attends Suho Junior High School, which reports directly to the Army, while investigating paranormal phenomena all over the country according to the military instructions. A boy with special powers he met in a village rumored to have black snow. Iwamoto, who showed his use to a boy who thought his ability was ill, told him what he had in common and offered him a letter of recommendation from the school. Various mysteries awaiting Iwamoto at the mission destination I visited. The opening of a romantic miracle that unravels their time. Wait. Okay, hold on. I gotta read this again. Show these 2 boys. Okay. So the last like 2 sentences are a little weird to me. Doesn't matter. It's a seinen as well, which is cool. I'm happy with that. So this is the stuff for YouTube covering. Now let's talk about the Patreon real quick. I'm just gonna rapid fire the YouTube stuff. I mean the Patreon stuff. So for Patreon, we got From Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman Season 2. Then we've got The Insipid Prince's Furtive Grab for the Throne. The Ghost in the Shell is also one. I was gonna cover it on YouTube, but the day it airs, I don't have the time to make a review for it as well. So I decided to just make a Patreon exclusive. Depending on what happens with the other shows, I might bring it over to YouTube. I don't know yet, but that's the plan right now, is make it a Patreon exclusive. I've never seen the original Ghost in the Shell. I know nothing about the series or the franchise or anything like that, so this is brand new to me. Next up is The Oblivious Saint Can't Contain Her Power. Next one is fuck me. Jaduger? I keep wanting to, my brain keeps wanting to rewrite it to Jaguar, but I don't think it's Jaguar. The show is called A Witch in Mongolia. I've heard interesting things about it, about how some people were surprised, but like interested in the fact that it actually got an adaptation. So I was like, okay, why not? I'll check it out. Next up, we got Mebius Dust. That's also Patreon. This was more of a last minute edition, honestly. I didn't know if I was actually gonna cover it for even on Patreon. It looked interesting initially, but the more I thought about it, the less interested I got. But I am interested enough that I'm gonna check it out. And finally, this one. Ignoring the cover image, this is Daughter-san of Reiwa, and it's a supernatural comedy. And I wanted to check it out. I was like, okay, why not? I might as well cover at least one comedy on YouTube, on Patreon at least, and on YouTube. So that's what we're doing. Then finally, we got two shows that I want to talk about. Oh, boom. These are shows that I'm not certain about yet. I don't know if I'm going to cover them on Patreon and YouTube or just Patreon. So I want your opinions in the comments down below if you made it this far. Because if you made it this far, that means you probably care enough about anything that I'm covering to be like, okay, maybe bring it over to YouTube or Patreon. So the first one is Young Ladies Don't Play Fighting Games. I was initially like, okay, I'll make it YouTube, but then I thought about more. I was like, maybe just Patreon. But now I can't decide, so I was like, okay, I'll leave it up to YouTube to tell me, because it's a comedy girls love school video game tagged show. And fair enough. I don't know much about the studio. Oh, they made a Parallel World Pharmacy. That's a really good show, actually. Also, the manga is really good. Highly recommend it. But I'm getting off topic here. What else have you done? Okay. Oh, they also did Ron Kamonashi's Forbidden Deductions. Interesting. But yeah. Young Ladies Don't Play Fighting Games. Let me know what your thoughts are if I should put it on YouTube and Patreon or just Patreon. Then finally, we got Chain Smoker Cat. I've been going back and forth on this one as to whether or not it should be YouTube or Patreon, because I don't know. I don't know if there's an audience for all the compared to the other shows. I don't know if there's an audience for Chain Smoker Cat. The name wild to think about, but I don't know if there's an audience for it on YouTube, especially for like reviews. Because like I'm well aware that like because I'm reviewing anime episodes and not reacting to them on YouTube, but still reacting to them on Patreon, that I'm probably not gonna be getting as many views as I would have liked. But even I know that there are some shows that do well with reviews, but I don't know if this one will do well. But I am definitely interested in checking it out, so I'm going to check it out. It's also an adult cast, so like that's already a good reason to do so. It sounds insane. What else have they done? Oh, they're involved in the quintessential quintuplets, the 100 Girlfriends. Which, oh, okay, well, at least the studio's reputable, I guess. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below as to whether or not I should bring over Young Ladies Don't Play Fighting Games and Chain Smoker Cat to Patreon and YouTube, or just Patreon. Because I'm going to cover them, at least on Patreon, if no one wants them on YouTube. But I want to know if there's an audience there for them. And with that said, this is everything that I'm covering for Winter not winter, summer 2026. 16. We got 9 plus 16, 25 shows. I think. The fact that I can't even do basic math goes to show how cooked I am. My brain is just like not completely there. Hold on. I have a physical calculator, bro. 16 plus 7 plus 2 is okay. 25. I was right. I'm glad. But yeah, 25 shows this season. And I want to know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Seriously, let me know. I'm curious. Are you interested in any of these, or does somehow none of these interest you? I'm very curious. And of course, if you want to keep up with what else I have, like what I'm covering, what I have covered, you can check out my anime list in the description down below. Because I try to keep that updated with everything that I have reacted to, plan to react to. Because I also, on anime list, I have my anime list set up where I have like a plan to react and a plan to react list for like fall, because stuff gets announced early. So I plan ahead for that, so you can see what I'm planning for fall and stuff as well. And I'll be doing the same for winter as like stuff is announced for then too and all that. But yeah, with that said, this has been going on for I think almost an hour, give or take, or half an hour, something like that. And so I'm going to wrap it up here because I do want to edit the video. I also have a package coming as well, and I gotta make the thumbnail and all that. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. And of course, again, please hit that like button, subscribe, and the notification bell. You can check out the Patreon down below for all my reactions, whatever they may be. They're all over there, even if they're not on YouTube. And again, make sure you subscribe and do all that good jazz. But anyways, I have been talking nonstop for almost, I feel like an hour, but probably more like 30 to 40 minutes. And so, with that said, thank you all so much for watching. And until next time, my name is Mark. Never stop being yourself. Stay safe, and I will see all you incredible people in the very next video.